A lot of people ask me at this point and they say, do I have to memorize all the identities? Heck no, they're on your formula sheet. They're right there, obvious ones. Some are pretty obvious. For example, the cosine one. Remember, cosine equals to the x value because, of course, your radius on a unit circle is 1. So that's one of the reasons why cos theta equals to the x coordinate, right? Same thing goes with this one. The sine theta, of course, equals to the y coordinate. The tan, remember, oh, okay, then that's sine theta over cos theta. Yeah, no kidding. You know that as well. And then, of course, what I love to refer to as our equation for our circle, but you're going to eventually refer to it as a Pythagorean identity because why? X squared plus y squared gives us that radius squared. Or in our case, x squared plus y squared equals to 1. Remember, the radius is 1. There's also something called quotient identities, real simple ones, like tangent. Tangent, I just gave you right here with sine over cos. Ta-da! Cotangent, remember, is the flip of tangent. So, of course, then this would be cos over sine. But watch out for your NPVs. That's an important one. You got to remember that non-permissible values, this guy can't equal to 0. Right? Same thing goes with our sine, cannot equal 0. And one of the things that ends up giving us is, don't forget, it gives us asymptotes on the graph. Yeah, cool. Okay, on we go. Now, don't forget our reciprocal, guys. Remember cosecant? Cosecant, yeah, sine. So that means sine can't be equal to 0 because there's a restriction. Secant, oh my goodness, that means cosine can't equal to 0. There's a restriction. And of course, you can say that cotangent is just 1 over tan. But what does that mean? Since tangent is composed of sine and cosine, guess what? You got a double restriction here. Oh, gross. Now, there's one identity that comes up again and again and again and again, and it's based on good old Pythagoras. Of course, cos squared plus sine squared equals to 1. X squared plus y squared equals to 1 because it is a unit circle, right? Here's the unit circle right here. There is our triangle. There's the cos, there's the sine. This is a right angle triangle. Good to go. Squared, squared, 1 squared, or just plain old 1. That's where it comes from. Now, the cool thing about this, but people keep forgetting about this, is the fact that this can be rearranged. Don't forget, you can solve this for cosine now and say cos squared is, bring the sine squared over to the other side, right? 1 minus sine squared. And vice versa. If you're going for sine squared, bring the cosine over to the other side, so it's 1 minus cos squared. That becomes incredibly important. But there's a couple other Pythagorean identities that we're going to talk about, and that's this one and this one. This is the cosecant squared theta identity, and this is the secant squared theta identity. Surprisingly enough, all of that is from, guess who? Right here, baby. Yes, absolutely. So we're going to start looking at a lot of these identities really, really heavy right away in the next podcast. Stay tuned.